Awaji Nombek Abiante, stated this when he led a delegation on a solidarity visit to the pro-Fubara Assembly Speaker, Victor Okojumbo, in Port Harcourt on Monday. Oh my, so this happened yesterday. That's interesting. Keep going. Expressing their support for Governor Sim Fubara, they expressed surprise over the recent visit of some members of the Rivers State Caucus in the National Assembly to the pro-Wike Speaker, Martin Amehule. My goodness, what's going on?
Contrary to the false claim by the group, the truth of the matter is that the objective of the press conference was to mislead the public on the true situation in Rivers State. That was just the objective of what they came to do. It thus becomes necessary on our part to set the record straight and put the public in proper perspective. Unfortunately, it is common knowledge that truth exists and it does not go away just because someone has invented lies.
Okay. Let's keep moving. On his part, Speaker of the Pro-Fubara Rivers State House of Assembly, Victor Okojumbo, said the Constitution cannot be amended to accommodate Martin Amehule and 26 other lawmakers.
We will continue to stand on the rule of law. The 27 former lawmakers are gone. That is the position of the law. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended cannot be changed because the 27 members loyal to their godfather in Abuja decided to defect, which of course was done on their own volition. So this is us telling Rivers people, continue to remain calm.
Okay. We are calm. I assure you. He said the state executive and legislative arms are too focused to be distracted.
The government of Rivers State is too focused on developing our people. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Rivers State, is too focused on delivering his mandate to Rivers people. We, as elected lawmakers, are also too focused to delivering that vision that we owe our people. We will continue to stand on the truth.
Other lawmakers present during the visit include the member representing Akokutoro Asari Federal Constituency, Boma Goodhead, member representing Ikwere Emoha Federal Constituency, Boniface Semerengwa, the member representing Okrika Ogobolo Federal Constituency, Anderson Allison Igbix, and the member representing Port Harcourt Federal Constituency 1, Manuchim Umezurike. So some lawmakers came into the state to visit the Pro-Fubara Speaker and pledged their support and said that the Constitution will not and cannot change, and said a couple of things. Sam, what's the big deal? Why is this news? Well, it's not supposed to be, but some other lawmakers came in last week to do the same thing to the other side. And now you're asking, did they get a memo? Was there an announcement? Make sure you visit these lawmakers in the State Assembly before the end of February. Because I'm wondering why back to back, week after week, National Assembly members are coming to River State to pledge loyalty and support, alliance and allegiance. What is going on? Well, maybe we can't answer that question to the full extent of the accuracy and veracity of it. But what we can answer is what we can make of what we can see. I'm going to compare this to a war, and even though it's not the best possible example, because again, try to avoid using the word war as much as possible. But I can tell you for free, as you very likely discovered at this point, that the Rivers battle rages on. Doesn't seem like it will be extinguished anytime soon. And the crazy thing about wars is there are a few ways that wars end. The first one is the expected end, defeat. It is hoped that one side demolishes, annihilates, destroys the other side. And when they do that, the war has ended because you have finished your opponent. The second way is through negotiation. Maybe there was no defeat, but one side just say, you know what, we are tired of this war. And they just surrender. Or they come to some mutual agreement. Guy, we've lost a lot of people. You've lost a lot of people. Let's go home. Yeah, let's use ourselves and do something. And maybe the other side also sees reason and say, well, yeah, they have a point. I'm sure there are many other ways that wars end, but these are the two most popular: by defeat or negotiation. The Rivers crisis would very likely, I say very likely because I can't see the future, but I can read the signs, would very likely be settled in court, which means that one side will be defeated. That's what's going to happen. And within a war, there are many battles. It is a combination of those battles that make up the war. There are episodes and installments of drama that define the war. This episode we are currently on, where lawmakers are visiting last week and this week, is called the Alliance. In other words, who supports who? Let me use one of the world's most popular wars, the World War, as an example. The reason why it was called the World War was because of the Alliance. The World War, in some way, shape, or form, was the Allies versus the Axis. For those who have some consciousness of history. On one side, you had the US, the UK, France, and their allies. On the other side, of course, the Axis, you had Germany, you had Italy, you had Japan. And the difference between the two sides were their ideologies. These ones believe this, these other ones believe that. So countries naturally aligned based on their interest and ideology. It's just as if I come back one day, they are fighting war in Port Harcourt. Of course, I don't know yet where I will join, what side. And I say, my brother, no verse. Waiting cause this war. You say that they argue. Say draw soup better pass egusi soup. Can you imagine? I would just jejely say where the egusi soup people side. They say that camp, I will go there. Because I feel, apologies to whoever might be offended, that draw soup is a bunch of nonsense. But it's my personal opinion. But while I'm in the egusi soup camp, if I look at the other side, I will see my full family on the draw soup end of things. Because they've betrayed me too many times by eating draw soup in my house. So, allegiance, alliance, interest. Players take sides based on interest. And that's how a war is prolonged. Because after a while, there are allies. This one say, we support you. The other one say, we support you. And it keeps growing. And if it was supposed to end in 1 week, because now there are more people, through the course of the World War, there were alliances at different points. After a few years of fighting, one country would not say, okay, we don't finally. In fact, there were times that they were even defecting inside the World War. Somebody who supported this side yesterday will say, okay, the way he's doing me now, it seems. And that's where we are. The alliance. The point where people are picking sides, but not just any people. Influential people. Members of the National Assembly. As you may know, last week, 8 members of the Rivers State Caucus in the National Assembly, led by Senator Barry Mpigi, paid a solidarity visit to Martin Amehule faction of the Assembly. This same thing that happened yesterday happened last week, but on the other camp. And this is what came out of that visit.
We are here to pay a solidarity visit to you, the Speaker of the State Assembly, and members of the State Assembly, and also to say thank you for making us proud as Rivers people. We want to encourage you and to tell you that you are on the path of the law. Do not in any way begin to bother when you hear these things on social media being orchestrated. Let me also challenge anybody to look at the letter of our Constitution and show us the word defection. The Constitution says if you are a member of a political party and you become a member of another political party. I have stood on the floor of the parliament to challenge it several times. We all know how you become a member of another political party. Gentlemen, you are standing on solid grounds.
So that's the voice of Kingsley Chinda, who represents Obiabo, I believe. So my question is, what do these National Assembly delegations mean for the political crisis in Rivers State? How do the legislative alliances affect the crisis? Is it going to extend this war? You know what? Don't use the word war. Will it extend this problem we have on our hands? Or will it help resolve it quickly? What does it mean? 08179230002. There's a break coming up in just over a minute, so this call would last for 1 minute. We'll take that break and then we return. Hello, good evening. Hello? My goodness, I can't hear you. All right, call back if you can. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Oracle.
Good evening. I'm back.
Yeah. For me, I think it's not going to extend. Neither will it solve the political problem in River State. My concern is not the action, either the one that came on Monday or last. That's not my concern.
What is your concern?
Not my problem at all. My concern is that do we still have hearings that are active, that knows what it means to delay justice? That's my concern. Because in all this back and front, I belong here, I belong there, what is the interpretation of our constitution? Either Supreme Court or any court. Why is it that up to now this matter has not been concluded?
All right. After the break, we get the answers to your pertinent questions. Please stay with us.
You are tuned in to Nigeria.
Facts 92.3 Nigeria Info. Sam Oracle Chinedu here. Our conversation for this hour is once again about the political problems we have in our states. The Rivers political crisis deepens as Caucus declares lawmakers' seat vacant. Now, the caucus in the House of Reps insists that Martin Amaewhule and 26 other lawmakers loyal to the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, have lost their seats due to their defection to the All Progressives Congress. This visit was to the pro-Fubara lawmakers, as it's popularly called. There was a visit last week by some other National Assembly members. That was also to the other side, the Amaewhule-led assembly. And I'm asking important questions. Of course, that was on a lighter note, but it seemed like there was a deadline that before the end of February, you have to go and visit, else the war might be at risk of being lost. But what do these National Assembly delegations mean for the political crisis in Rivers State, considering that they happened very close to each other? How do the legislative alliances affect the crisis? Because they obviously said at those engagements, so we are solidly behind you. We've got your back. Call me and tell me. 08179230002, 08179230003. WhatsApp is 08090306416. I just remembered something. There's one who says I call the numbers too fast. I'm going to take it again, but slower. 08179230002, 08179230003. Okay, I need to do this before I start taking your calls.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Okay, so let's take those calls. Jude calls from Omuma. Hello, Jude. Good evening.
Sam.
Good evening.
The members of the National Assembly who have paid their visit to either the governor, Okojombo, and Amaewhule, both sides. For me, these people just want to keep themselves very busy, because they know that the solidarity they are paying or solidarity visits they are doing is not going to help any matter. It's not finding solution to the matter. They know where the matter lies. The almighty judiciary, the judges. And I have a fear. Nigeria that is stinkingly corrupt. What happens if these almighty judges and justices continue to turn blind eye to this all-important matter, the defection, until 2027? Sam, I'm not a lawyer. If you do, answer it. Till 2027, when this tenure of the present administration elapses, what happens? Because it can happen. We have already spent 2 years, and I think we have about 2 years to go, and nobody is talking about it. These people are going around paying solidarity visits just to make their principals happy. That's why I say they're not happy. I mean, they're not helping issues. 2027, when this administration elapses, what happens? The lawyers can answer these questions for me.
Okay.
Because it will soon be that.
Thank you, Jude. I must move on now. Clinton calls from Bori. Hello, Clinton.
Yes, Sam Oracle.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's like we are moving in circles. We are going in circles.
It seems so.
In this matter. Look at the statement of Rivers Caucus. They are declaring the seat of the lawmakers as vacant. Do they have such powers? That's the problem we are having, is that some persons feel that they can just do things the way they want to do things. What does the law say? The High Court judgment delivered by Justice Omotosho did never vacated the seat of the lawmakers. Never said so. In fact, he even recognized Martin Amaewhule as speaker. So why are we doing this? All these things that we are doing now? try to escalate the problems. Before I would be saying, what we need to do is to have a political solution, because it's a political crisis. And going to court, if you go to court, the court will look at the merit of your case and deliver the judgment. And it is one side must lose. So what's the best solution? Political solution, give or take. But since they've decided to go in the way of the law, no problem. Just Somoto should never vacated their seats. And if you're looking at the issue of defection, it is not automatic. They be called on section 109 of the Constitution. It's not automatic. It is not. It is the speaker that will give effect to that.
Okay.
And if the case is peculiar now, it must go to the court. The court will now say, based on this Constitution, this clause, you've lost your seat.
Okay,
But that's
Clinton.
not the case by any court of law.
All right.
So please, we must allow the rule of law to prevail here.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Sam. Rivers Reps back Right Honorable Kujumbo-led Assembly says pro-Wike lawmakers have lost their seat due to defection. This is a welcome development and a step in the right direction. The drama will continue to linger as long as the judiciary is economical with the interpretation of the law in clear terms. Owanete says. Muriel calls from Okrika. Hello, Muriel.
Yeah, Sam, thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, I think what the lawmakers are coming to do is to strengthen and encourage their support, the people, the group that they support.
Okay.
But it's also wrong that these are lawmakers that know the law and are guided by the Constitution. They know the Constitution. They're divided on the Constitution. It is okay if lawyers divide, have different views about a particular case, But this is the Constitution we are talking about. And these lawmakers should be defending the Constitution. And what does the Constitution say concerning this matter? So it's a disappointing situation for me, for lawmakers not to act and decide issues according to the Constitution that guides them. At the end of the day, let's wait for the Supreme Court. That's what we're waiting for. And I wonder why these matters are lingering. And I support the person that says, if the Constitution, if the Supreme Court will change the Constitution for this lawmaker, that is what I really want to see.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Muriel. More calls coming up. Sam, you forgot to mention, this is a comment on WhatsApp, that in a war that ends by negotiation, the sides would have to concede something, like how the Sudan war ended when Sudan agreed to concede and allow South Sudan gain independence, or France and Algeria. Yes, indeed, the terms and conditions of the negotiation. Unfortunately, Israel and Hamas have somehow failed to come to some terms that work in both their favor. Samuel calls from Waterlines. Hello, Sam.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon / evening.
Yeah.
Welcome.
My problem is whether lawmakers come to River State to visit these people and these people. That is not my business. My business is this. Is the governor of River State doing well?
Is he what?
That is my business.
I didn't get that. Is he what?
Is he bringing the dividends of democracy to Rivers people?
Okay.
The answer is yes. Yes, the Rivers people are happy with the governor and not care about these people coming to visit this group and this group. My concern is the governor of Rivers State being well. Is he bringing dividends of democracy to Rivers people? The answer is yes.
Sam, I think that you would answer that question for yourself. Hello, Sam. Because I'm certain there are people who will have a different answer to that question. So you can say that you're satisfied with his governance, right?
Yes.
Okay. I hope you got what I said.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So all these people coming from here to here, visiting this group and this group, they should wait until the Supreme Court to decide. So I don't care about these people visiting. My problem is the judiciary. If the judiciary has given maybe a statement about these people, defection of these people, when these people know that when they defect, they have already lost their seat. So that's my problem. Judiciary should do something so that all these problems, these people visiting from here to here will stop.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So
I agree completely with Sam. The judiciary needs to bring some finality to this. I think that even as a neutral, it's not a question of what side you support. Even as a neutral, you should be sick and tired of this by now, right? It just doesn't make sense that this is the trending story every other day. Unless something happens, IBB releases a book or something. This is the recurring decimal. And when IBB releases his book, people read it and get tired and come back to face River State again. Okwando calls from Irebe. Hello, Okwando.
Yes, good evening to you, the Oracle Chinedu.
Good evening.
You see, I don't know if you will feel bad if I start this conversation by telling you that 70% of leadership in Nigeria always like to display irresponsibility.
I will feel bad, my brother. I will feel bad, I promise you.
Okay, let me see if I will draw it.
I'm kidding, please go ahead.
There is a question we used to ask in our local parlance. Who you help? All these allegiances that these lawmakers are pledging left, right, center, who them help? Is that the reason why they were elected to go and make law for Rivers people or for Nigerians? As a matter of fact, the 27 lawmakers that are in contention today were elected to make laws for Rivers people. But they left it and went to pledge allegiance to the FCT minister. As a political office holder, your allegiance is to the people, not to one man who is in Abuja acting as a god or a what. So I want to say that all these allegiance they are doing left, right, and center, it's not helping anybody. As far as I'm concerned, it is not helping me.
All right.
There are many issues in the society that they should put mouth into, but they are not putting mouth into it. Instead, they are pledging unnecessary allegiance and alliances.
All right.
This is not a welcome development, my brother.
Thank you very much. I'll be taking more calls shortly, but I have a few comments on Facebook. Remember, we're live, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Watch, listen, and comment. Royal Chinda says, confusion everywhere. And Emmanuel Silvanus says, so many people, oh my, I've lost that comment, still do not understand the issues here. The judgment by Justice Omotosho and the subsequent appeal at the appeal court never considered the defection of the lawmakers because defection happened after the case had gone to Omotosho. Okay, Prince Hardy says, please advise the state government to obey the rule of law that worked for Mr. A might not work for Mr. B. Right Honorable Martin Amehule remains the duly elected Speaker of the 10th Rivers Assembly. That's from Prince Hardy on Facebook. Now let's go back to the phone line. Daniel from Imo Gate. Hello, Daniel.
Good afternoon, Samarako.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Daniel Imo Gate from Swako.
All right, go ahead.
I am an Adian, so we want to learn anyway. My question is, these 27 lawmakers, what was in their mind? What was their intent? Because for me, here in Abia State, I watched it on television when they were waving their flag, ADC flag, and I asked, was it a joke or whatever? Because now they are saying they have not defected. We are hearing they have supporters as well. Maybe the law will back them up that they did not defect. And I am asking my question, what was their intent?
Okay.
That's my thing. And so that we can learn.
Okay.
Then
Thank you. Okay.
You see in River State what is happening in River State. 27 lawmakers. They are not, the governor is not taking them along in his, whatever they are doing. But River State still have not cracked or have not stopped. So don't you think that politically, even as they are trying to create more states, that these people, that's my own concern, that they just group themselves together. It will not stop the state not to work. In the local government at the national level, they do a little, but consume our little resources. River State is still moving forward for now.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Thank you.
Well, to your question, there are only 27 people who can answer that particular question. What were they thinking? What was on their mind? And, well, I don't know, I guess. But hopefully we'll find out. Benjamin from Radio Estate. Hello, Benjamin.
Hello, Sam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good. And you?
I'm amazing. You don't sound good. Are you sure you're good?
I am good by His grace. I am good. I am good.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's just the problem in the state.
Okay.
I'm not allowing the governor to really focus on giving the people of Rivers State true democracy and things that has to do with democracy.
Sorry.
Yeah. My concern on issue on ground is this. Is it that the Constitution is saying a different thing and people are misinterpreting Constitution? The Constitution has made it explicit that once you defect from the political party that brought you to power, automatically you've lost your seat. So what are we saying? Okay, they think the 27 lawmakers that defected from PDP to APC, what were they thinking? Or are they thinking that it's going to be business as usual, that they do everything they do, they think they will do, and no person will talk, and they go away?
Hello?
What?
Oh, Benjamin. Unfortunately, I lost that call. Apologies. Jeffrey from Rumokroshi. Hello, Jeffrey.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
Yeah, sorry I'll call you back. The noise is so much.
Oh, sorry. I could hear some dogs in the background. Lawson from Yenagua. Hello, Lawson.
Hello, Sam.
Good evening.
Wow, Nigeria. I don't know. Inexplicable things happen in this country. Things that you can't even explain. It's strange. I see people defect in the National Assembly every now and then. Even now we are speaking. And nobody has even gone to say they've lost their seat. And so it is over. Nobody has said that. Even the Labour Party itself is talking about going to court. They are not saying they've lost their seat. Who determines whether lawmakers, you understand, have lost this seat or not? Who determines? Seriously, sometimes when people talk, I wonder, you saw them on TV, you saw it in the newspaper. If I come to your studio and I said, I have changed my name from lost into something else, doesn't mean that my name has changed. People say constitution. Are there no laid down rules, processes by which you can defect? I mean, so when people keep talking, so I don't know, maybe it's for politics sake. In Nigeria, we play a lot of politics.
No, but Lawson, so, why would you come to my studio to tell me... Hello, Lawson?
Yes.
Why would you come to my studio to tell me you've changed your name when you've not changed your name? Is everything okay?
That's what I am saying. Perhaps maybe it was a joke for them. It was a joke. Maybe they were playing. Because if I want to change my name, I have to go to the court. Simple. It's as simple as that. And then also publish it. But I did not do that. It means that my name has not changed. Okay. Seriously, a man, let me tell you, it is common law. A man is innocent until proven guilty.
Well, that same man should be careful about the expensive jokes he cracks. But I get it. I completely understand your position, right? But there are people who should not make certain kinds of jokes in certain positions.
No, but let me ask you something. At least based on the message that you have, do you think that it is the executive arm of government that will say they've lost their seat, or it is the law court?
No, of course it's not the executive, right?
They are not recognized, and then people their entitlement. I think for over a year now, they are not getting it because the executive arm thinks that they've lost their seat. Is it the duty or power of the executive arm to determine that?
Okay.
I don't know. Let us do things properly. Honestly, we should do this. You allow them until when they. I remember when even far back as when David Mark was the Senate president. He said there were some people that had some criminal cases in the Senate, and people were calling for their suspension. He said no, they cannot be suspended until the law court says so.
Okay, so Lawson, I must move on now. I get the point you're making. There are parts of it.
Thank you, but
thank you very much. That will be enough. There are parts of it I don't agree with. Of course, that's why I'm responding. But we have spoken for quite some time, so I have to let others be a part of the conversation. So let's see. There should be comments on Facebook. I knew this was going to happen. Somebody is responding to Lawson. Says, please tell Lawson if he comes to your studio and says he changed his name and then swears an affidavit to the effect, then his name remains changed forever, whether he likes it or not. Okay. Thank you very much. The lawmakers are no more lawmakers. Immediately they defected from the PDP to the APC. This is why the court needs to act as quickly as possible. Because what we thought we knew, we don't know anymore. And the problem with not doing the right thing is that it becomes a reference point. If before now there are people who defected and they did not lose their seats, and maybe the Constitution says they should lose their seats, that becomes a reference for the next person who might defect and say, yeah, but Mr. A did not. Which is why the law must be implemented, translated, interpreted, every TED that possibly comes to mind properly, so that you're setting a foundation for the right future. But we are waiting for the court. That's important. Let's do justice to WhatsApp. Hector says, I think the pro-Governor Fubara lawmakers, what they came to do is to refute the falsehood and propaganda that was sold to mislead the people by the Wike camp. That's from Hector. You think. Okay. And the next comment from Elder Adas says, please, this Abiante and his faction that has suddenly become the judiciary, how many are they? Let them continue to deceive the gullible around us. It's unfortunate that Rivers has become a tool in their hands. Good evening, Oracle. Good evening to you too. How many times have these lawmakers on both sides of the divide visited River State to hold town hall meetings on bills they intend to sponsor on the floor of the National Assembly? They can visit to make political statements, but not actually do their jobs. Rivers people must be wise this time to actually our leaders accountable, as we hold, for the management of our common heritage and not for the kind of politics they play. Our collective wealth is what these politicians, that's how we'll call it, because the word you use here, lavish on their power tussle that serves only their interests when we continue to suffer poverty in the state. That's McDonald from Ilori. Thank you, McDonald. And yes, that brings to mind, you can and should listen to us via the app. Yes, indeed, you can download it from the App Store and from Play Store, regardless of the device you use. So try it today. These Abuja lawmakers loyal to Governor Sim should rest. They are saying different things from what the Federal High Court and Appeal Court have said. Let them allow the Supreme Court to end this matter based on the law and not these emotions, presumptions, and propaganda strategies of keeping supporters in chains. Okay. Good evening, Oracle. Like you mentioned, it's all about perspective because what you see depends on where you stand. As adults, we all should know where we all stand. Few misguided individuals use River State common patrimony to their exclusive use without consideration for others. This is the bitter truth. Let the Supreme Court interpret the law to lay the unambiguous matter to an end. Jerry Michael from Eagle Island. Odemegu says, good afternoon, Sam. For me, those 27 lawmakers that defected to the APC from the PDP are not worth representing anybody. That's why they landed themselves into this problem. Is it not shameful that after deposing to an affidavit in court, the same people turned around to deny what they did on air? They ceased to be members of the River State House of Assembly the day they contravened Section 109 of our Constitution. We are waiting for the court to do justice to the matter. Odemegu Sonny Didier from Omerilu. I'll take one or two calls and wrap up the conversation. I've lost that one. Call back if you can. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, Sam, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
My name is J.A.J. I'm calling you from Port Harcourt town.
All right, go ahead.
Sam.
Yep.
Please, check your dictionary and read to the word the meaning of aloe when you say aloe chamber. For those who don't know, it means a place that's close to holy, very holy place where jokes are not allowed. And when you also followed it up, go the polls and ask it, you know that you really mean business. Sam, remember what happened? The altercation between the Senate president and my own, how will I call her now? She's my in-law, Odwa, right?
Yeah.
Where they said somebody had to change seats from one place to another and all those put together.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, something happened before that. There are people who were seated in the other side before, but because they have decided to mix with the other people, they now move to another side. That's exactly what transpired in the Rivers State House of Assembly. For the fact that your letter has been read by the speaker, that is what now qualified them to say, let's come to this side so that you shift to this other side. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes,
so it's not a place for joke. And you took the joke far, went to Polo Club, went to Federal High Court, deposed an affidavit, and somebody is telling me that it's a joke, and you come back and say you were just waving. I don't get it at all. Were you singing or dancing to that song with me? I get over. You understand that song, right?
Okay.
Where they say you raise your flag. So for me, it's not a place for joke. It's a place for serious business.
Thank you, JJ.
Yes, I support Abiante to say they have lost their seat no matter what they think. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hallowed, the place close to holy. So the place is not holy, it's just very close. That's interesting. There's nothing more to say. I'm out.
The show continues after this break.